மாப்பதி வருமா வாடா மா பேடி மாப்பதி போடா
மாப்பதி பின்னாடி வா
Welcome, Tamil Nadu. I arrived and I've come straight from the airport after garlanding the statue of Rajiv Gandhi, the man who built India's bridge to the 21st century. And now it's a great honor to come to the memorial for the great Kamaraj. Kamaraj was somebody who in many ways represents the foundations of what the Congress Party is all about. Under his leadership, the enormous strides that we were able to make in the then Madras state towards social justice, rural electrification, increasing development of the state, education and midday meals in the schools. All of these are contributions on which successive leaders of Tamil Nadu have built after his time. But the foundations were laid by this great man, a very humble man. At the age of 27, he was arrested by the British for participating in the salt satyagraha. He was a great freedom fighter and at the same time a very powerful leader of the Congress Party and of course a distinguished president of the party whose memory we honor today in this memorial. I have come here to Chennai as part of my campaign to reach out to delegates of the Congress Party throughout the country, seeking through this campaign to both reform and revitalize our party by galvanizing our party workers around the message of change and progress, and at the same time to attract once again the voting public to return to the Congress which they abandoned in the course of the last two elections. The challenge that's posed to us by the BJP must be met with courage and fortitude, but also with imagination. And it's indispensable that we come to find new ways to tackle the enormous threat they represent to the idea of India that was established by our freedom movement and enshrined in our constitution as drafted under the leadership of Dr. Ambedkar and implemented by successive Congress governments starting with the immortal Jawaharlal Nehru. This is the legacy that we must all seek to defend and protect. And in defending it today, we are all here to say we can do better and we can make the Congress Party once again a fighting fit political party to take on the challenges of 2024 and beyond. I'd be happy to take your questions.
How's your support in Congress in your election?
Well, I'm getting an enormous amount of feedback from ordinary party workers, young people, delegates, shall we say, from the next generation, which is very gratifying to me because they are the future and they are also the majority of our country. You all are. You are a young man yourself. 35 years of age or below is 65% of our population. So it's their country. This is a young India. I want Congress to be the party of young India. I want it to represent the aspirations and the dreams and the hopes of young India, just as Rajiv Gandhi attempted to do 40 years ago and succeeded in his initiation of the telecoms revolution and the IT revolution. We too have to now move forward to seize the opportunities available to young India in the third decade of the 21st century. So I'm very happy to have the support of the young people. The seniors in the party, for the most part, have stayed as it were, with the establishment. But we are open. Today I got a call from a 91-year-old delegate in my state of Kerala saying, I'm not young, but I see you for the future. And he is voting for me. So there are people like that also. I am not turning away any support. We need young and old, men and women, senior leaders and ordinary workers. We need everyone to join us in this great adventure of making a rejuvenated Congress to lead young India.
So what is the mood in the northern parts of
Well, I have begun my campaign in Nagpur and moved south. I'm going back north now, and I will be in Mumbai, Lucknow, Bhopal, Patna, Calcutta, as many places as I can reach. The problem is, of course, that we have very limited time. The entire campaign is over on the 16th of October, and our nominations were cleared only on the 1st, scrutinized and approved on the 1st.
Sir, will you go to
So,
Chhattisgarh?
in 2 weeks, there is a lot of work done. But we are talking to people in the north on the phone and through other messaging, and the messages we are getting are extremely encouraging. I think that what we are seeing is a groundswell of support across the north for a campaign that talks about badlav or change in a very constructive spirit.
Sir, will you go to Chhattisgarh because Chhattisgarh is a Congress majority party?
I know I've been to Chhattisgarh very recently because I went there for the annual convention of the All India Professional Congress, and I find it very difficult now in such a limited time, where there are only so few days left, to go back. But I am talking to as many people as possible in every state, and I'm hoping to reach everybody through messages. That's the best we can do in a campaign of such a short duration.
As you and Karti are going on in a vigorous campaign, there seems to be a simultaneous campaign by Rahul Gandhi called Bharat Jodo.
But that's a wonderful thing. I marched in the Bharat Jodo Yatra. I'm a huge admirer of the effort that has been undertaken by Rahul Gandhi and by hundreds of young people who are marching with him. We have the so-called Bharat Padayatris who are going all the way from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. And then we have others who are joining for 2 days, 3 days, 10 days, whatever they can spare in their own states. I myself marched for 3 days in Kerala, and I can tell you that the public enthusiasm is incredible. 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, you are seeing literally lakhs of people out there to cheer this on. This is an extraordinary feat that Rahul Gandhi has launched upon, and I'm very glad that though the presidential election is over in 20 days from the beginning to the end, the Bharat Jodo Yatra will go on for 150 days. And this message of the Congress party that we must unite India and we must unitedly fight against the injustices inflicted upon the nation by the present government, that message must be carried on throughout the year.
But BJP is taking it a different way, claiming that no matter who becomes the president, they will only stay as a rubber stamp and Rahul Gandhi is only going to continue. This is how BJP is looking at Bharat Jodo.
Well, I think that the Congress party is what matters, and how the Congress party looks at the Bharat Jodo and how the Congress party looks at this presidency are what matters. We will see what kind of turnout we are going to get in all the PCCs. It's a challenging election for the delegates because there is only one physical location to vote, and that is PCC headquarters. That means that in say Kerala, people from the northern part of the state have to travel hundreds of kilometers to reach Thiruvananthapuram to vote. In Uttar Pradesh, people from the eastern part of the state have to go all the way to Lucknow in order to cast their vote. So it demands a lot of commitment, a lot of passion for the party to make that effort and go to the PCC. I'm still confident that we will see a good turnout. For example, in Maharashtra, I began my campaign in Nagpur. I wanted to go and pay tribute at Diksha Bhumi, where Dr. Ambedkar, as you remember, had his famous moment of conversion in 1956. And then I also went to Wardha on Mahatma Gandhi's birthday and paid homage at Sevagram. But when I met Congress workers in Nagpur, many of them were telling me they were determined to travel to Mumbai on the 17th of October to vote. So these distances are enormous. These are big states. Coming to Chennai from Kanyakumari will not be easy, but people are doing it. People are willing to put the message across, and that shows the commitment of the Congress workers to the Congress party. So I think whatever other parties may say about our election, please see how our party workers behave and how they show their commitment to the party.
So you call yourself a candidate of change, but in one of your recent interviews you said it would be foolish to do away with pedigree or assets, you called it, the Gandhis. Would that not be an anathema to the
No,
kind of
that's not
change
the
you want
change I was
usher in?
talking about. I was talking about the change in the way in which, sorry, the way in which we work, and in particular, the need to empower our karyakartas, our grassroots workers at all levels. Currently, we find ourselves in a situation where all decisions are taken in Delhi and people at the bottom level are just told this is what you have to do. We want to change that. I want to be the voice of those who are clamoring for more respect to reach the lower levels of the party, for ordinary workers who want to have more access to the decision makers in the party, for there to be more decision making and more consultation at all levels. If we empower our workers, they will feel a greater sense of ownership in the party, and that's what I want to see happen. I might add that I stand by what I said on the Gandhi family. I believe they're indispensable assets to the party. Their blood, quite literally, has been mixed with the DNA of the Congress party for a century now. And as a result, a lot of people in our party workers, the length and breadth of the country, have a strong sense of allegiance and love for the Gandhi family, which also animates their commitment to the party. But equally, if you look at something like I was describing of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, it would be a very foolish president who would want to throw away the attention and the inspiration that a leader is able to attract from the general public. What we need to do is to add to that. So we need to be able to add to our current appeal other elements that will take us above the 19% we won in 2014 and 2019 and take us to a much higher figure in 24. That is the ambition, and that's why the fact that this election is taking place with 1.5 years to go for the election, the general election, gives us enough time, or just the right amount of time, to start our effort to take back this government and this country.
But would there not be a conflict between the high command culture you want to do away with and sustaining the Gandhis?
No, I think the idea is precisely to do this in a constructive and cooperative way. I want to stress, whoever wins this election, the real victory we want is the victory of the Congress party. Whether Mr. Kharge wins or I win, the Congress must win. And the Congress winning is a question of everybody in the Congress feeling empowered, feeling positive, feeling committed, and one day feeling victorious also in the elections. For that, we need to be able to all stay together. So there is Bharat Jodo and there is Congress Jodo that will follow, keeping everyone together in the party and at the same time fighting unitedly against the forces who are now ruling our country.
So what kind of role do you foresee for the Gandhis in the event of you winning?
That will have to depend on the post-presidential election scenario. I'm sure that discussions with them are going to be very important for any president. Discussions to see what kind of role they're comfortable with. After all, if they had wanted to continue running the party, it would have been very easy for them to do so. Because Rahul Gandhi was elected in November 2017 for 5 years. He could have withdrawn his letter of resignation, he would automatically have continued. And the working committee would have welcomed that. He clearly doesn't want to do that. So we have to ask him what exactly he would like to do. And the same with Sonia Gandhi ji, who has led the party so ably and so successfully for a quarter of a century.
So when you say what they're comfortable with, would the choice be left with the Gandhis or the party?
I think there would have to be mutual discussion and accommodation. That's how any mature, constructive, cooperative relationship must be constructed.
So at this point, whom do the Gandhi family support? You or Gandhi?
Well, I did speak to all three Gandhis and their line was very clear. They said that they want a free and fair election in the party. They said to me very clearly that they would stay neutral, there would be no official candidate so-called, and that they wanted all the institutions of the party to stay above the fray and to permit each candidate every opportunity to reach out to the delegates. That's what's going on. I must say I was very assured further after their assurances to me by the statement by Mr. Madhusudan Mistry, the Chief Election Authority, which is available on YouTube and I tweeted the relevant chunk of it, when he said that those who are claiming that there is an official candidate they are not speaking the truth. And he said that in Hindi, and he said it twice.
What about Tamil
And
Nadu?
then he added that there would be a secret ballot, that every voter need not take instructions from anybody else. It is their ballot, it is their vote. Not only can they vote in secret, there will be no identification on the ballot paper as to who is the voter. And when the voting is over, the ballot boxes will be sealed. They will be transported to Delhi. The seals will be broken only in the presence of the candidates and their agents. All the votes will be mixed together, so no one knows where the votes came from, and only then will they be counted. So the election authority in the party is going out of its way to ensure that the election will be free and fair. And I think that's a measure of the Gandhi family's sincerity in ensuring that there will be no tipping of the balance in this process. And we are obviously very grateful for that.
What about support from Tamil Nadu Congress Committee?
You know, I have spoken to the TNPCC president, and he has convened this meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. I'm going from here to IIT Madras to speak to the young people there. And then I will be coming back to Satyamurthy Bhavan for a discussion with all those who are able to come. Many have told me they will travel from their constituencies, but I'm not expecting anything like 100% turnout. That's not possible. First of all, the notice was very short on my part, and secondly, the messages went out, I think rather late after we had spoken to the PCC chief. But I will say that anyone interested is still welcome to come. We will talk, and we will try and message them. I have a manifesto which I'm going to send out in Tamil. We have had the translation done. We will also try and make sure that people reach the message to everybody that we are very loyal to the Congress party, and at the same time we want reform. That's the message we're giving everybody.
So you're writing a biography on Ambedkar, and
It's published on the 1st of October.
Yes, sir. And so we are living in a highly polarized country right now, where there is caste-based atrocities at an all-time high and Islamophobia. So how will Congress sort of concretely take charge and bring about a positive change in this regard?
I have to tell you, that's one of the core messages of the Congress. We believe strongly that there is no place in this country for discrimination or oppression on the basis of caste or religion, or for that matter, language or region. Everybody in India is equal. The Constitution Dr. Ambedkar submitted to the Constituent Assembly says that whatever your language, religion, creed, caste, you are equal in the eyes of the law and the eyes of the Constitution as a citizen of India. And that is the idea of India that the Congress has always upheld. We will strongly resist any attempt to discriminate or oppress people on the basis of their factors of birth. There's only an accident if you're born in one caste or born in one religion or born in a family that speaks one language. That is simply your culture in this country, but it is not something that in the law or in our political stand would have any place. So I assure you, there will be no let down from the Congress party on these issues. We will stand squarely and strongly with the oppressed of all backgrounds, whether people of minority faiths or the so-called scheduled castes and tribes. Their rights are the same as my rights and his rights in this country. We are all the same people.
Thank you.
So if your side wins the election, do you have any plans of taking the Congress party?
Well, I have made very clear that my manifesto is my commitment to the party, and I would move very quickly to implement that. And that would include, for example, elections to the Congress Working Committee, so that we can actually revive it according to the Constitution of the Congress. I'm not going to rewrite the Constitution. The Congress Party has an excellent Constitution, but some bits of it need to be revived, and that's what we're planning to do. Okay, thank you all very much. All the best.